Alright guys, I am back, and after, uploading and getting, video 5 and 6, or I think 6 and 7, one of the two, after looking through them and watching them one last time, I realized that, there was game audio, but no voice audio, and I don't know how that happened. So, I'm gonna go ahead and, log in here, and I'll give you a brief overview of what I was going over in those videos so that you're caught up. Alright, now that we've loaded in here, so here's what you've missed, okay? I'm currently at level 14, although I wasn't at, and I think I tried to go over it in the 13-minute video. I just can't remember what number that was. But I thought I was recording between level 8 and level 13. I don't know if it was actually that many, but I thought I was recording, and it turned out I wasn't, and I can't go back and redo those levels so you can see them. But I didn't do anything different other than just continue with the quest line. So here we are. As far as skills go, I'm rocking Unstable Familiar, but I did that for appearances last night, so because somebody was asking me a question. So I went ahead and switched so I could go ahead and pull that out so it looked cooler while I was idling there. And we're going to go ahead and set this back to, we're going to set that back to Mage's Fury. So we are currently we're rocking Mage's Fury, Crystal Blast, Hurricane, Rapid Strikes, Haunting Curse, and Overload. So one of the things that I thought I went over anyway, but again, no audio. But one of the things that I went over was that I have a very specific scheme for how I set my buttons up, because I tend to hit L1 and R2 most often, and because of that I have my Stamina Spammable right here, Haunting Curse right above regular melee attack, and then my buttons are set up accordingly. Alright, so I gotta close the door. People are having fun outside, and I'm sitting in here brooding. Alright, so, so like I said, I have a very specific way that I set up my build as far as the button scheme, just because it's easier for me to mess with, and you can do whatever works for you, although I recommend this just because it's kind of intuitive, but you can, you can do whatever's easiest. But currently, with this scheme, with the way that it's set up, we are at rank 14 in Dark Magic, and there's, we have one skill point into Unholy Knowledge currently, one into Blood Magic, and Crystal Blast, obviously. Daedric Summoning, we have Unstable Familiar, because we needed it to break into the Daedric Summoning skill line. We have Haunting Curse, it was the Daedric Curse, we morphed it to Haunting Curse. And we do have Storm Atronach and Rebate unlocked, but we don't need either one of those because we're not using Magicka Heavy. And we have 1 point into Power Stone. For Storm Calling, we have Overload, Mage of Fury is ready to morph, but we're not going to morph it because we're not going to use it after we unlock Surge. We have the lightning form morphed to hurricane, and we have lightning splash unlocked, but again, we don't need it. We're not going to use it. And we have one skill point into energized. Now, we have, for our dual wield, we have Flurry has been morphed to rapid strikes, and we're going to keep using it until we unlock Blade Cloak, and then we'll be using Blade Cloak. And we have one skill point into Slaughter and two into Dual Wield Expert. And then for our Soul Magic, we have 2 points into Soul Shatter. For our skills, for our race skills, we have one in Exhilaration and one in Conditioning. And then, though we have some unlocked, we have no crafting skills. And that's the way we're going to keep this build. That's the way I'm going to keep this build anyway. You can do what you like, but for this build, do not waste anything in crafting. Crafters ideally should be orcs anyway, just because of the crafting bonuses. So, and you know, feel free to debate me on that. So, that's where we're at there, and as you can see, we are currently at level 14. We're about to hit level 15, and as far as the skill line, or as far as the quest line goes, we are actually about a third of the way through the last. We're about a third of the way through the largest, the most time-consuming leg of Cold Harbor. We have to do missions. We have, at the very least, we have to do the Moonless Walk and then the Lightless Oubliette. And once those two are done, because it all kind of bleeds into one, so once that is done, then we can go up through here. And I think there's just, it's either one or two missions, because you start out here and then you go here and finish it up. Once that's done, all we'll have to do is go back into Cold Harbor and kill Molar Ball. And then we will unlock Soul Strike. And we should, at the rate we're going, we should put on 2 or 3 more levels before then, but we will still be fantastically low level and doing very well for ourselves here. We'll go ahead and slot that again. And we will continue exactly where we left off now that you guys are all caught up. So now we need to go to the Lightless Oubliette. No, the Moonless Walk first. That's where we need to go. And of course, you can go through and do the side missions just so you have more help for the very end of it, or for the end of this particular part of the quest line. And that is if you want to. You don't have to, and I am in a toss-up. I may, but also I may not. I'm certainly not going to do everything. I think there's 27 different missions that you can do in Cold Harbor, and we're not going to do all of them. We're just going to do kind of the bare minimum. And then, you know, I may come back through and do more missions to put on more levels later on. Especially if we need to, if we happen to finish the quest line and we haven't hit at least level 20, then we'll go ahead and come back in here to put on some much needed levels, because we are ending this build. It will be completely finished at level 26. And only because that is where my starting gear is. My starting gear is at level 26. Now, a lot of PvP players don't generally bring their new PvP characters into PvP until at least level 20. I kick it up just a step and I say level 26 again, because my gear is for level 26, and also because it gives me a little bit more of an opportunity to kind of get a feel for what it is that I'm running. So you can see we have plenty of things we can do. We can go ahead and do the Library of Dusk, and that gives us Rainer Vanos, and that actually helps us out quite a bit. And we may go ahead and do a few of these just because that final fight is going to be fairly difficult just with just me, Cadwell, the King, Vanos Galarian, and I think one other mage. It'd be fairly difficult with just us. So we might go ahead and get, well, actually, no, because they just kind of follow us around, and we might not actually need them, come to think of it. We shouldn't. We'll just kind of test it out. If we kind of mess up, then there we go. We'll play this by ear, I guess. All right, so yep, there's the sister again. Alrighty. See, these guys are just freaking everywhere. Her and her brother everywhere, and it kind of bums me out that you can go to the Rift and play with them there. You can go to Clockwork. You can go to the Clockwork City and play with them there, and it kind of bums me out that they don't remember you. Like, if you do, do a little miniature quest line that involves them, and kind of heavily, because there's a small handful of them, and you don't. You don't, or rather, you finish it and everything. They don't remember you. It makes me sad. They just, kind of act like they've never met you before. Just a random stranger that they're overly friendly to. But anyway, just like normal, I'm going to that way. I'm going to be fairly silent until there's something pertinent to say, something relevant to what's currently going on screen, and that is mostly, because I haven't really expressed why, but that is mostly so you can kind of hear what's going on, and also so I can keep an ear out of my surroundings and pay attention to what's going on around me, all that good stuff. And also because this is a video series and not streaming, there's really no back and forth interaction, so I can kind of just zone out a little bit and listen to music while I'm doing this. So that's kind of what I do. So, a peek in the life of Mr. X. So I'm gonna do that and continue playing, and I understand, like, a lot of tutorial videos you can watch, and you can just kind of put them on the back burner and not really watch the video, but just kind of listen to it. And I think I wanted to start out with something like that, but that's not the way that it ended up. It ended up being a very visual thing, so it would help you a lot to watch the video. And then if I ever go, if I go and do another build tutorial, then probably what I will do is make it a little less visual and do a little bit more talking. But again, because this is just storyline, quest line, so, and it's just, like, I like it, the story's pretty cool, but also I've done it so many times, it's a little boring.
You need to be alive. You have to be.
But
I need you to help me.
But because it's interesting, I actually, I have a lot of fun playing it. I do better when I'm listening to music. That's just kind of how it is. So, radio silence for now.
He didn't have to die. At least the Khajiit got away. How long can he manage to survive, though? I don't know. Because we made it. Did you get the bark? We don't have... Touch the bark.
Why are the creatures acting so strangely today? I could have sworn I heard something. Ifra's name is that sound coming from?
Give us the cat, Snake, and we'll end your life quickly.
Where are the creatures acting so strangely today?
This one does not We heard voices in the woods. We thought it was other members of our expedition calling to us for help. But Captain, the last alien, the wood... This one is safe here. This one doesn't know it. Come on. When we were resting at one... Well, the friendly snake thing did help me. We shouldn't dismiss them out of hand. They lack organization.
We shall help you. We knew they are monsters. You will? The vile and ruthless. They keep our egg. The top. They hide. I will find.
Wait, outsider. A moment. I'm not asking for any... The Shadow Walkers watch the forest.
count. The key is to... Why do you insist on not harming the ones who kill my people? The little elf girl. She